You spent a lot of time in Syracuse. Obviously, that's you played, coached there. What made this the right time and the right place to leave today?
I think the fact that there are so many aligning factors in terms of how similar the programs are. I chose Syracuse because of all those family aspects, the community, the support that the program has. The reality of it is head coaching jobs for assistant coaches aren't easy to get. And this is a terrific job, and I was in a position to obviously, get this chance. And, I've gone for 2 jobs in my career, and I've gone for this twice. So this is a great job, one that I think is, as good as any job in our area. So all the aligning factors, all the things that I look for is family. You ask all these guys, the majority of these people have worked here for 27, 28, 29 years. You go down my way where I was, it's the same thing. There's a certain appreciation for people, a sense of pride when you're at this place. That's probably what you the most.
Gerry, what you said about winning, how difficult is that going to be to do right away? How much work do you have to do immediately here to get this going where you want it to go?
A lot. We've got to do a lot of work. Obviously, going to transfer portal, you know how it works. We're down a number of guys. But at the same time, so are a lot of teams in this league. If you look around, a lot of teams are guys who are jumping in the portal and transferring. If you do the right thing in recruiting and you get on the right guys, you have a chance to be good really fast. So it's a lot of work, and we're going to spend probably the next month and a half, 2 months leading into the summer, because in reality this team's going to be built in the summertime. It's going to give us a chance to work the next 2 months, try to complete a roster, and be ready to go when the summertime comes to hit full tilt.
Gerry, when it comes to the type of players that you're looking to bring to Siena, what kind of traits do they have in your mind?
Toughness, talent, length, athleticism. Depending on what you have in place, depending on what you need. So depending on who you get, a lot of times might determine who the next guy is. Complementary pieces. So we need a little bit of everything, I think, because we're obviously going to have to address some shooting and certainly our numbers. There's guys out there. Already got a commitment this morning, which we're happy about. So we're moving in the right direction. We're making some phone calls. We tried to be as active as we could. In the backdrop, it's been since Friday, since it's official, and I've been working, since Friday to make sure that I'm in position with the guys that we're recruiting.
Gerry,
you mentioned you learned some things over the past year. What kind of things in particular that you maybe didn't know that would help you become a head coach?
I just think all the other things you do, the meetings, the little things, that just kind of you never knew were behind the scenes. There's so many different aspects of the program. To watch him get pulled in all these different directions. And, the difference between him and Coach was I was in a lot of the discussions. Coach didn't really discuss those things with me. And, Adrian and I have been working together for 14 years. And it's a long time working friendship. One of my best friends. So I was just really happy in the position that I was able to kind of be there and watch a really good friend go through this process. Be a voice of reason when he was unreasonable to himself. Doing some, we all doubt ourselves at some point. I will, and I'm going to need good people around me that I trust. And he's done such a great job to watch him go as hard as he did this year. It's a good thing for him.
Sure. Sorry. Mark Singley, Smith.
Mark.
You mentioned this is the second time you pursued this job. I'm assuming the first time was 6 years ago. How do you feel like you're more ready, more prepared for it maybe than way back?
It's a lot more years of coaching, a lot more years of style. You add in another transition with Syracuse, to go through that as well. Title bump, more responsibility. The biggest thing is, someone once told me if you're not learning this, you're dying. Every year you've got to get better. It's something that I've kind of lived by in terms of that advice. So. I feel like, I didn't talk about it a lot, but I feel like my home life and having 4 children and kind of becoming more well-rounded about how I communicate has helped me with the guys I work with. Just feel like I'm in a good place about how I feel.
Gerry, you lived in Syracuse through so many stages of your life. How was your time there? What developed you as a person?
Are you trying to get me emotional?
I'm working on it.
I did my best not to talk much about it. So I did my best not to talk about it because you know how I feel. I think there's not a truer word spoken at the podium other than it's just the reality. As great as my playing career was, I am more grateful to the area and really Jamesville DeWitt School District. I mean, they were phenomenal to my kids. Like, I can't even put it into words how enjoyable our experience has been through the elementary and now the middle school system for the JV school district. I mean, any parent knows, like, yeah, you care about yourself, and yeah, my legacy as a player is great, but the city took care of this, the place took care of my children. Like, that weighs heavier on me and what I have to leave than anything I did on the basketball.
Gerry, you spoke about the person that you are and that you're a simple person. What are those pillars of who you are that you want to bring to this program, and just what you can say about staying consistent through your life and being that person all the way through?
Yeah, trust, transparency, toughness. These are all words that, son of a Marine. It's just kind of how I was raised. All you had to do was give me the look, I knew. So I just try to emulate, I talk about my parents and try to be like my father, who I think is, Purple Heart Vietnam War veteran, who is my hero. So I just try to go along through life and just try to make them proud, because I know they've done everything in their life to give me everything I've ever needed.
You already have a bit. Obviously, you talk about the transfer portal, but also the true freshman aspect, bringing in the freshman class. How much does your familiarity on the trail in the Northeast with Syracuse already knowing some of these players? How does that help you as you transition into this job trying to bring the freshman?
Oh yeah, it's everything. We have great relationships. Obviously, you guys will start to hear my staff as we move forward. As you hit the portal, you probably either recruited somebody or know someone that did recruit them, and it depends on the level they're looking for. So there's a lot of varying factors in terms of why you're in position with the guy or who the relationship is. And now you got to decide between how old do I want to be, how good is this young freshman, do I want to bring him in? And you see at the high major level, you're seeing more and more programs where they're going more older. And the problem is we're not only just in transfer portal here, we're in transfer portal as many times as you want and COVID. So a lot of these guys are 24, 25 years old. So it makes sense if you're at a Power 5 and you're at a high major that you wouldn't want, why wouldn't I want 4 25-year-olds on the team playing against 5, 7, 19-year-olds? It just makes sense. I think where we've got to do a good job is you're talking about a program where you can come in and at the Power 5 level, you might be really talented and come in and they might not play you right now. And you saw what happened to the really good young players in this league this year. What happens? They played well, and what happens? Now they're trying to go up. So the big thing is, recruiting young freshmen. Can you get them where they're really, really talented, where they could play at a Syracuse or a Big East school coming out of high school in the past, where they would have probably stayed in the program and developed, and would get them here right away. Hey, you get a little bit of run as a freshman, play pretty darn well while you're at it.
Gerry, how about the NLI money? How big of a factor is all this in trying to pay guys to come to Siena?
It's a factor. I think the biggest thing is you're not going to ever hear us talk to a recruit. It's going to be the first thing you talk about. I think that's, it's such a dangerous game we're playing where, I get it. I can't blame these kids nowadays. It's the model that they've been given. They're taking advantage of it. But I've said it before, I'm not going to sacrifice in terms of what I've always felt, because I was in a program where it's all about tradition and history and you should have pride wearing the jersey. That's still going to be the first conversation I have with these guys. Obviously, you're going to get down the line in terms of relationship, and eventually the conversation is going to happen of like, hey, this is great, I really like you guys, but what are we looking like? So it's something that obviously we're going to address. I'll do everything I can to try to elevate the profile of it as we move forward. Obviously, there's collectives, and you got to do your best in this position to reach out to as many people as you can. And there's a lot of people in this area that want to help. So I'll obviously do the head coach thing, and I'll go down those avenues.
Jerry, you're taking over a team that went 4-28 this year. Does it add any pressure to kind of turn things around?
No, I wouldn't add any more pressure on myself and any individual here other than I already do. I'd say, I kind of like navigating in that area where I put pressure on myself, because I feel like on the other side of that is your potential. So I wouldn't say that I've added any more pressure coming into this year more than I would any other year. I'd say more so than anything, it's my first year as a head coach, so that's probably the most pressure for me. It's just, trusting myself in the process, having people around me that I trust, and, trying to, like I did for Coach Autry, be there for him when he needed me. I think there's an adjustment for everybody. I watched Red go through that, which like I said, I thought that was good for me, kind of what to anticipate, what to expect. You do get pulled in a lot of different directions, which as an assistant coach, you really don't have to worry about a lot of stuff. You just go coach and recruit. So yeah, it's going to be an adjustment period, but at the same time, I'm kind of looking forward to being in those meetings and creating a little bit of my voice that maybe wasn't heard all those years, and all those experiences I had. So I'm telling you, I'm blessed. I'm really, really looking forward to this.
You have a few guys left on the roster, including a couple of them are here. Gerry, what process do you go through with them to figure out whether they're going to stay?
Well, I think that'll stay between us. Obviously, I'll talk to these guys. Obviously, I've talked to a few of them already. They have options too. That's the thing. And I think we're going to have. It's been tough for me because I'm going back and forth. Over the weekend was Easter weekend, so I didn't really get into town yesterday. I wanted to talk to these guys. So we'll have some honest conversations, and I'll hear them out in terms of what they're thinking. And again, I think that'll probably stay between us, and then whatever happens in that, they'll make the best decision for them.
So you try to put Syracuse on the schedule?
I got to talk to Red. Let's see. I got to talk to Red. Home and home. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Gerry, you said that your wife helped you know the time when you were ready, but what was it about Siena specifically, about walking on campus, about the people and the relationships that you thought made this place the right fit?
Well, you think about it too, like all these years being just right now close to each other, meeting so many different people that I love, meeting so many people that live in this capital region. And then the initial conversations with President Seifert, the original conversations where they saw, and when President Seifert was talking about the university being in our lives, we've been here for 30 years, he started talking about the success rate, graduation, the success of people going out and having jobs, just the pride drew me in. Then the vision of where they wanted to go in terms of the basketball program. Just the people. In fact, like Syracuse, we've said it for years, not a lot of people did it like us. They do it pretty similar here. A lot of people have been here for a long time. Take a lot of pride in it. That kind of resonated with me because I'm loyal. I've been in it. I understand it. And just talking to people, understanding their story, seeing their story, hearing it, being here so long. Vision is going, it just aligns with what I was doing.
You said in your remarks that Coach Boeheim basically forced you into coaching or forced you to become a head coach. Can you talk about that a little bit?
No. He forced me into coaching, not being the head coach. He didn't force me into this. No one forced me into this. He forced me into the GA. Not forced me, but he asked me, and then 2 short weeks after, he put me on the spot. So. I think he knew. I think that's part of being a coach. Part of being a coach is knowing the players you're working with. He knew me. I'd worked with him for 4 years. I just talked to him at the Big East tournament that year. I think he felt like I was unhappy in terms of going and playing in Transylvania or wherever I was. I played some big ones. He felt that I was unhappy. Gave me a different avenue at a place that I loved to do what he thought I could do.
So when they mentioned the regional being back in 03, you turned to something you said it's scary.
21 years?
Yeah. What's it like just to be standing here in the lobby 21 years later, accepting the head coaching job and building you played and I want to on a regional? What's that feeling like?
Yeah, it's. I still remember that game too. Still remember the crowd that week. Last night was awesome with Clark. Iowa taking on Adrian Reese and LSU. What a venue. But 21 years, thanks for bringing that up twice. The second time today. It's scary how quickly it goes by. It is, it really is. But it's kind of neat that my first opportunity as a head coach is in the building that we're played in to go to a Final Four and win a national championship. It's really unique. I'm just blessed. it's so neat for me to be back in this place and experience it last night, the day before the press conference here. Just really cool, kind of full circle moment. Toughness, character, transparency, honesty. One of the things that I love, almost every guy that I first work with, I say, hey man, we're gonna look each other in the eye right from the start. Okay? There's a level of respect here that's gonna happen, and I'm gonna look you in the eye when I talk to you, and you're gonna look me in the eye when I talk to you. You talk to me. So that's, I think the one thing, like I've said, communication with me is very big. And I'm just under the belief that if you communicate with these guys well and you're transparent with them and you're honest and you look each other in the eye and you tell each other the truth, that's a real relationship. And that's all I've ever tried to do with the players I coach, the players I work with. I just want real relationships, and I'm going to give them that. And hopefully they return it when they want it. I hope it'll be better off if they do it for them.